Saludo mi gente. It's Kavanah Angelique here, and I am actually going to record this while I'm driving. This is my version of day 3. I meant to. Anyways, I'm gonna move on because who cares? No one. Day 3. Ready? I'm leaving the house of a beloved friend, and we know each other for many, many years. And one of the pieces that we were talking about that I think is really, really important, we're both people who have been walking ourselves home as a generation to the fullness of our own essence and our culture and our stories. And part of the thing that, I don't know that I get to talk about this too much. I do it probably more so in person than I do online in this way. Just because I think that there is a medicine to being able to hear somebody say this up close that you can see and feel. Having said that, I recognize that it kind of shapes this half story about myself as a person, and not just myself as a person, but my lineage, my legacy, all of the good things, And so I want to talk about it because I think that we have, as people, if you're listening to this, there's a possibility that you yourself are on a spiritual journey. You yourself are, deeply connected to your culture, want to be, or you are trying to find your way with all of these things, which I personally think is sacred and beautiful. And here's what I want to say to you, because here's where I think that this is actually so important, is that for all of the methods, all of the practices, all of the things, and I've said this like this before, you see, nothing is going to train you as life has already been offering training. Nothing is going to be like the call inside the house. And when you come from being gaslit, or whatever your history is, whatever your relationship to yourself is, your self-identity, your self-connection, your communal connection, all of those good things, you will fall into the distortion of what that has become as a result of pain, as a result of oppression, as a result of fill in the blank. And I think that it would be remiss of me, which is why I teach the way I teach and talk the way I talk, because formula super easy because it gives you a safe ground of permission. And hear me when I tell you that formula, to me, does not, I'm not against it, and I'm not preoccupied by the need to have some sort of container, order, or fill in the blank. That's not my qualm is not with that. My qualm is actually with what you're willing to do in order to feel and or think you've received the right and the permission to that. That is my qualm. I've spent the better time of my life getting out of my house and teaching and doing. And the reason why I say shit like this is because I think we forget that any teacher that you actually thoroughly enjoy, that to you embodies authenticity, to you embodies liberation, embodies a realness that you can appreciate, it's because they have lived the fucking thing. It's not coming out of some sort of theory. It's not coming out of a book. It is not coming out of this sort of like very distorted series of fill in the blank, and then you get the stamp and you're approved, some sort of certification, fill in the blank. It's not coming from that. It's coming from the lived experience. And this is not to diminish the value of being and learning or any of those things. That is not what is happening. What is happening is that I am curious about what you're doing when that is not enough for you, when it is not enough that you live the experience. And so when I'm saying shit, perhaps is my own qualifying of it and perhaps not, but I think what's really important is that the bones that I have to pick with things are directly a result of lived experience. And this is one of those things. I'm here for trainings. Again, I'm an ordained, fill in the blank, kohenet, a priestess, a Jewish priestess, a Hebrew priestess, to be specific, right? All of the things. I'm an energy, fill in the blank, and all wonderful. And I've tested the ideas out. I tested this, I felt that, the imposter syndrome, all of the things. Once in a while, it comes to visit for some coffee. And I'm like, really? Do we have to do this again? And then it's like, I just want some coffee. All right, I'm going to give you, so we're just going to have a cup of black coffee because I need to remind you. I need to remind you of what really matters here and what's really central here. And that is that my lived experience is not fake and it's not imaginary. And so when I tell you that the thing that you're seeking lives inside of you already and that you're it, I'm not being, positive or like just the self-empowerment, because that doesn't disqualify or diminish the fact that you may need discipline. You may need structures that are dynamic, structures that are liberatory, structures that are not constructing the very same, Einstein. You hear me say this a lot if you ever listen to me talk. My two favorite quotes. Insanity, doing the same thing over and expecting different results. And the mind that created the problem can't be the mind that solves the problem. If that is the case, then you have to understand that your learning, your practice, your tools, all of those things need to be dynamic. What is not dynamic is the call that comes from inside the house. What is not dynamic in the sense that it is already a part of your essence is that you don't have to get it approved. But you surely may need to be in the practice, process, and progress of. And that with that comes time, with that comes maturity. Even when time is an illusion, there is still a practice, a process for it. And here's the fucking cliche of all cliches, the irony of all ironies, is that no matter what you do, you will need to learn something new. You will need to feel brand new. You will need to feel unsure. You will need to battle. You will need to let it be easeful. You will need to be in dynamic relationship with that. With the expression of your essence. What you don't need. What is not necessary is the approval of someone outside of the house saying to you that you have permission to be you. That you need permission. The whole point of accessing tools, the whole point of moving through all of these things is that you are a unique alchemy of. You are a unique alchemy of a spark that only the ingredients that your life, your experience possess, amplifies, creates the fire, creates the thing. We keep on putting the cart before the horse. We keep on saying, well, you got to get certified. Well, you need to fill in the blank, fill in the blank, fill in the blank, fill in the blank. Why don't we just tell the truth? We're afraid. We've been conditioned to abandon ourselves. And then inside of that particular negotiation, can you imagine how many things would change if everyone came with their essence and their inner knowing about themselves and the blueprint of their being that functions most dynamically, open and ready to assume full responsibility and accountability? How does that happen? Well, because you're not outsourcing your confidence, you're not outsourcing your identity, you're not outsourcing your essence, you're not outsourcing your tools, you're not outsourcing these things. You understand that only you and you alone possess the alchemy of that. So I may be a practicing fill in the blank. Now I may use yoga to be part of the tool that I have, maybe the Phillips screw, maybe the flat screwdriver, maybe the wrench. I'm not going to go along with this because I don't know enough about tools in that way, right? But what I do know is that nothing replaces your essence. Nothing is going to replace the fact that you have to believe in you, and not from that cocky fake it till you make it shit. You actually have to believe. You have to be alive inside of you. And I think about this, because my friend and I, we were talking about, we've been developing our work, our body of work, our magnum opus, all of the things you want to call it, for a really long time, while still trying to figure out how not to be poor. Poor is what we've come from. Poor is what we're afraid of. And if you tell me, oh, you shouldn't think like that, you need to think more positive. Have you been poor? Have you eaten cereal with water for breakfast? Have you made pizza toast inside a fucking toaster oven, nearly burning yourself with some fake ass marinara because there hasn't been anything else? If you have not, please sit in the back of the room, be silent, and in observation. Now, if you're a person who knows the experience, you'll understand the fear. It's that simple. If you've had the experience, you understand the fear, and you understand that fear doesn't respond well to domination, bossiness, aggression, or fucking the opposite of that. It actually responds well to dynamic compassion that says, oh man, yes, we had that experience. Oof, I'm so sorry, that was so tough. And as a result of that, you know what? We acknowledge that, and we're going to take it one step at a time, moving forward one step at a time, recognizing that we are okay and we made it out of that. Because as we're talking, we're both like, I'm taking, I think I mentioned this, I'm taking a training, and really poke my eye out, pull all the things out, because, and I say this with grace, I say this with blessing, I get it, it's challenging, I get it, people are doing the best they can, and so somebody raise the fucking bar. Somebody have the courage to raise the fucking bar, because if I hear somebody use Maslow's hierarchy of needs one more fucking time, I am going to vomit, and I'm going to need ginger as a recovery tool for several days. I cannot do it anymore. And yet here I am taking this training. This training that I'm taking is stuff that I'm acquainted with the exception of the legality of it, right? Like the laws and the policies in that way. Everything else I'm very familiar with. Everything else I've taught. Everything else I've dynamically evolved so that it brings us up to a current intersection of liberatory, decolonial, authentic, trauma-informed, all of the fucking, throw it all in there, blend it up in a fucking Vitamix, and we get some good shit. And I'm over here having to move through the process. And you could call it arrogance, you could call it whatever the fuck you want. It's neither of those things, neither of those things, because I actually have done the work for over 20 years in order to understand how we could do a thing differently. Meanwhile, as I've established, I have a hard time paying my rent. Right? There's been challenge and difficulty. Yes? Why? Well, several reasons actually, if I go into it. But suffice it to say, life has been challenging and it's getting better. All of the things, wonderful, great. But here's where the thing lies that we were talking about. We continuously return to, because we're terrified, because I'm not going to say that my struggle, quote, struggle, whatever, quote unquote, whatever the thing is, however you want to lay that out. I'm not saying it looks sexy. It doesn't look sexy to anybody, really, because the illusion of safety that capitalism and the illusion of safety that white supremacy offers is really fucking sexy when you want to feed your children and you want to take care of your life. And I get that. I really do. I have family members that are still operating at an entry-level experience because they're terrified of not having a paycheck. I have taken jobs for the same reason. But here is really the thing. Here's the thing that really grinds my gears, is that the truth about this all is that the societal conditioning, the structure, And, you know, some people are like, oh, is it all about race? It's all about oppression. Yes, because we live in a society that force feeds and attempts to confine the human spirit to its narrowed benefit, which is why we are all subject to the fuckery, right? And if you're living outside it, let me know how that happened, because if you're not paying taxes and shit like that, that may bring problems later on. But I digress, right? Having said that, this struggle that we have, the tension that we have, has caused us to continuously abandon ourselves, so that we can't imagine anything outside of trying to refit ourselves into the structure for the sake of survival, talking ourselves down from the edge of what we perceive to be too woo-woo, too impractical, too out there, nonsensical, you know, because we got to do shit like white shit does shit, right? Because that's really worked out for it. It's only worked out for some. I want to pass on that type of community and that type of society. It's eaten the fuck away at my culture. And I really think it's cursed. That's what I really, really strongly believe. Again, I digress. I'm going to come back to the point, if there is a point to be made here. Is that while we're trying to figure out how to contort ourselves back into that thing, because we're terrified of the alternative, you are the alchemical difference that is necessary to create change in the world. And I am over here fucking freaking out, trying to figure out how to get by when the treasure trove that I have in my essence, in my spirit, in my, when I'm talking, listen, the lived experience, my friends, the lived experience, the work of it. I've heard people tell me, you know, it's so sad you don't have a degree. You should have like a PhD. I mean, if you're willing to pay for the education and you're willing to somehow help me figure out how to expedite all of that, I'm here for it. But having said that, again, not knocking anybody that does that, knock yourself out, right? If it makes you happy, it makes you happy. I'm not going to argue with you. Who am I to argue with you? You've done what you've done. You live where you live and how you live. Having said that, when people feel sorry for me, because I don't fit, I am a round peg trying to shove into a square hole. And my struggle is because, you know, sadly, I may not have the credentials. Now, we know that that's bullshit in 2026, right? I think we got that, right? Have you noticed that with all the trending influencers and the quick money? I'm hoping we got that. The essence of this here is, the work of this here is, the thing of this here is, it is in me to understand that I do not need to prove. I do not need to do any of those things. I need to actually inhabit the alchemy. And I say alchemical because I think it's an active thing. It is not, it's not stagnant. It is constantly doing what it does. When I step into that, when I step into talking about my culture, when I step into talking about where I came from, how I came up, when I step into talking about the things that matter most to me, family, legacy, lineage, when I step into talking about transformative leadership, grounded leadership, when I step into talking about holding spaces in a way and programs in a way that allow us to rehumanize ourselves, when I step into that shit, I am on fire. I am alive. I am at the most core essence of my being. And that alchemy of all of those things coming together, woman, all of the, both and the labels and no labels, at the end of the day, it is my lived experience and my journey that creates the power that can transform the world. One person, one moment, one corner of the universe at a time, in time, out of time, bending time. All of the things are possible. And if I can get you to understand this, and to understand that you already possess whatever your journey has been until this moment, I learned how to do soulful marketing. I learned how to create my own graphics. I learned how to make my website. I learned how to create my packages. I learned how to do business with ethics that are unmovable and unshakable. I had to figure out how to be myself fully and inhabit that, so that the question is not how do I make myself marketable or palatable, but how do I inhabit the fullness of my being so that my beacon bird call goes out into the universe, and then the birds that are meant to come my way and we flock together respond to me. All of the things that I learned, all of the things that I thought I needed, all of the things that I worked hard for, that I'm like, oh, I could be like, oh, I wasted time. No, you don't understand. That's still the alchemy at work. That is still the alchemy at fucking work. In you and in me. That, believing that, not abandoning that, be in the living of that, giving it life, choosing it, is what you're hungry for and what you're looking for. Not another training, not another thing. And it's not that you can't do those things. You can. Only when you understand that they're tools and not answers. Only when you understand that they are practices and progresses. They are not the goal nor the end. To create the world that we're trying to create, that we've been working so hard toward, is going to require people who are radical, and not radical in your common, trendy fucking, oh my God, not that shit. Not that shit. The shit is as practical as your neighbor next door. The shit is as practical as the people in your family, your chosen family, your blood family. It's right there. It's right there. It is right there. As him and I were talking, we both come from really challenging childhoods. Very challenging. And he was sharing pictures of his mom, which, bless her soul, she's in quite a battle now. All I could do is cry. As I'm looking at this woman, I'm looking at my mother, I'm looking at my grandmother, I'm looking at the reason I have shown up is because I cannot fathom the amount of things that a human can experience and experiencing them alone. It is for those women that were battered, those women that lived in violent childhood experiences, violent adult experiences, that were trying to do the best they could, trying to learn as much as they could, on the go, on the fly, while raising children, while trying to trying to do all the fucking things. And all I could do was cry. Because not only did we try to survive this shit, we survived and then tried to get equipped to go back to try to help those we could, because we know we can't help everybody. We know we can save no one. But my fucking God, can we sit with you a while in the darkness and in the light? My God, will we offer you an ear and a shoulder, because we know what it is to need it, and we also know what it is to cry on it. Every step of my life has led me to this place, this moment, this expression, and this experience. And so has it you. And nothing is going to replace you believing in yourself, you trusting yourself, you loving yourself, and not that shit you see now, not that shit, not the performance, not the posturing, not the premature shit, I wish we could be where we're at. Be exactly where you're at. Where is your context? Be there. Stop trying to be anywhere else. Stop trying to Stop trying to grow. I remember thinking, man, I can't wait until I turn 50. I said this 20 years ago. I said this 30 years ago. I said this 40 years ago. I can't wait till I get older. Because then I'm going to have permission to say what the fuck I want, how the fuck I want, and nobody can say shit to me. Because our elders, they be doing the most sometimes. And I'm 50. I'm 50 talking to you during a full moon in Sagittarius. While the whole thing is burning down, while there are present challenges in my life, while I'm trying to figure it out, while I'm absolutely in love with my granddaughter, while I'm absolutely in awe of my children, while I'm absolutely in awe of my family, while I have boundaries with some of my family that won't change. All of it. All of it. Here. This moment. This thing that I am. This place that I inhabit. I'm 50 now. And I get to say, I get to say the things that matter most to me. And I continue to practice and process and progress that. But 40 years ago, yes, I realized I was 10. Realizing that the adult that I wanted to be was someone in my power. Someone unfettered and untethered by an oppressive mindset that demands binaries in order to exist. I'm Puerto Rican. We are so fucking lush. We come from such beauty. I'm a Puerto Rican Jew. How wild is that? So many things. I'm New York, whatever, right? So much beauty, so much lushness, so much sacredness, so much holiness, so much complexity. In the most beautiful of ways. So if I can encourage you toward anything from this location, be where you are at. Be where you are at with a savor, a flavor. Be where you are at con gusto, con una gana, tenle gana. Desire it. Here where I'm at. Here where I'm at is delicious, amazing, powerful, holy, sacred. It's 111. Holy, sacred. Be where you are at and be there and do your work from that place. Teach from that context, from your lived experience. Teach from your actual experience. Teach from your actual location. Show up to do the work from the actual alchemy of your being. You don't need to be anybody else. And until you don't know how to use a tool and understand what's happening here, the tool is nothing without you. The tool is for you to use to accomplish the thing that you need to accomplish. If you can't put a tool in its place, a practice in its place, stop, please. Come back home. Come back to the call from inside the house. Respect it. Love it. Believe it. I believe it. I want to be in the living of it. I respect it. No, I don't think you understand. That's why I'm doing 30 days. I'm doing 30 days because any place where I have experienced confusion, where I've experienced scarcity, worry, all of the things around resource, around ability or disability, all of the things, all of it. All of it. I just cannot, I just can't fuck with it that way anymore. And I can't be sorry that I've experienced grief. I can't be sorry that I was abused. I can't be sorry that my pain, my struggle, my perimenopausal brain, my weird ass forgetting, oh my God, I cannot live as in a fucking apology. And I have brought myself out of my house into the greater world because I don't want you to live as an apology. Because it's costly. because it's going to keep me silent, and I can't do that anymore, as I already discussed, as per the 30 days, right? I hope this blesses you. I hope you can hear what I'm telling you. I hope you can hear it in all the tones that I'm telling you. You don't need to flex. You don't need to prove. You don't need another fill in the mob, Bob. Fill in the Bob. Fill it. You don't need those things to quantify, qualify, certify the essence of your inhabited existence. What you do need to do is believe. Be in the living of it. I'm here in the living of it. Earlier, I was filling out an application for the position of Let My People Sing. They're hiring. And at first I had reservations. I was like, fuck, I was like, I don't know, I'm unsure. And then I sat down at my laptop and I was like, I'm going to put my hat in. And I'm going to put my hat in, and who knows, right? Who knows what'll happen? I'm going to put my hat in because one, song is medicine to me. It's powerful. It's everything, really. Singing is medicine to my soul. It has saved my life over and over ever since I can remember. Singing in Jewish community is powerful medicine in so many different ways. Singing in Latino community is powerful. Singing in family lineage is powerful. And I have the lived experience and work body that if it was meant for me, right? It may not, maybe not. I answered things as honestly as I could. That as a Jewish woman of color, what I bring to the table is transformative medicine for the next stage of this particular project and organization. And as I was typing this out, and you have to understand where I come from in terms of, I'm not the type of person who, I don't walk around here, I don't flex. It's just not my thing. And it's not my thing because it's just not the type of person I am. What the type of person that I am is like, I'm either passionate about a thing and I show up for the thing, and that's it. I'm not counting all the things. I'm not counting I'm not counting that. I'm engaging. I'm actually busy living it. I'm not snapshotting every moment of my life so that I can quantify, qualify, or some other, thing that my own fuckery and own internalized fuckery will ask of me. But as I'm writing this, I'm like, I'm over here acting as if I'm, coming from base one, from beginner brain and beginner this and beginner that and all of the fucking, oh my God, we just grab everything for some sort of theory because we have questions and we want answers, and we come up with these answers that are from all these different places. And the last thing we do is want the answer that's within. The last thing we do is want the answer that's within. And so what happens? All of the things that I have journeyed through that bring me to this moment are the reason why I can confidently speak to the fact that if I had an opportunity to take this on, I am confident in my 25 plus years of experience that I can be part of co-creating amazing things and an amazing trajectory moving forward for the next stage of this particular organization. If we were to reround the clock to like a couple of months ago and we would have been talking about this, absolutely not. I wasn't in the living of it. I wasn't even sure what was going to happen to my life. I had experienced some devastating very painful and just personal things that threw me off, broke my heart, caused me to, not necessarily caused me, but what it brought up was so much pain and insecurity and such a sense of forlornness. It was really painfully awful. So if you would have asked me then, I wouldn't have been able to tell you now what I'm saying to you right now. And it's that I filled out that job application with the confidence and knowing that my lived experience, my being in the living of, is sufficient to support anything that is for me. I don't need permission. I don't need approbation. I don't need, my work speaks for itself, and I'm not counting. My experiences live inside of a detention center with young women who I had a couple of weeks of a circle with, who I'll never remember their names. They'll never remember my name, but they'll never forget the experience we had together around remembering who they are. I don't want to grab a testimonial from that. I don't want to put that through any type of mill. I want to honor that, to me, my intuition has been correct in that I am not this machine that capitalism gets to take a ride on. But what I actually am is a living human being human in my living with other humans. And that I understand whether I'm in the supermarket or I'm in a meeting or I am doing a workshop or I'm creating a curriculum or I'm running a circle, whatever the thing is, I'm very clear about what are the anchors and the essence that is going to heal the world as we walk it out, as we move through it. That every single thing, every single moment that's anchored in authenticity, liberation, and values, that's anchored in the essence of our humanity, will undoubtedly yield a power and a reverberation at a frequency that is astounding, because that is just how that is. So, can you be in the living of, believe that every moment that's yours, meaning not somebody else's life and somebody else's experience, the ones that are yours, that every one of those moments that you have lived through are the medicine that you bring to the world. And that when you believe in it and you be in the living of it, that actually is what you need. Well, what are you saying? Are you saying we don't need resumes? Are you saying, can we not do that? Can we not go back to go forward? Can we agree, and can we be in the understanding of the idea that if you inhabit that, if you be in the living of that, you could try it. Look at your life. You have proof of it already. The things that bring you joy, the things that generate energy, the things that are transformative, the things that you come alive in, that's what's going to heal the world. Tools, there are so many. Practices, so many. And you will always be in process and progress. Because that's living. It's dynamic, not static. So if you step into those things and you step into that, then your relationship to tools and practices would change. Then the amount of things that you think you need to be doing or need to be adjusting or need to fill in the bank, you understand that the path that you've taken, you already have what you need, because you are already it, the thing that's going to transform the world, the thing that's going to transform the world when you get in your car and go get gas, the thing that's going to transform the world when you take a moment to put a baby to sleep or to talk to a beloved one or to talk to a total stranger in the supermarket. It's you. It's you. It's you. You're it. I love you. I hope this has been a blessing. I'll talk to you later, and fingers crossed Fingers crossed. And if you like this, if you're listening to this, listen. Subscribe to my Substack. Become a paid subscriber. That would be wonderful. That would be lovely. That would be love. People say, go ahead, Angelique. Angelique, how can I help you? How can I help? What can I do? Become a paid subscriber. That'd be great. And if not, this is a podcast. You can listen for free. So what's the deal, right? I love you. This is not, we don't have to transaction this. We don't have to, I have survived until now because the goddess, because the ancestors, because the earth, because the air, because the fire, because the waters, they all these things have brought me to this moment. So yeah, I'm just going to choose to trust that. I'm going to choose to trust that. How about we do that? How about we trust that? I'm going to choose to trust that. You want to know how to support me? Subscribe. You want it? Share. You need the same support? Let me know. Send me an email. I'll share. Just make sure your shit is ethical. Make sure your shit ain't a hustle. Make sure you're not out here drinking the Kool-Aid in binary directions, because that's a whole nother thing. And I love my people, and I'm very careful with my people. I want my people to feel safe with other people. I want that for my people. So please be ethical. Please be anchored in liberatory values. Please don't let your shit be so radical that it's inaccessible. But let it be rooted. I think I'm gonna stop there. I love you. Until next time. Adios.